I don't think that my church is actually particularly controversial.
No, no, no. Not God bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America.
Those are not statements that I ever heard when I was sitting in the pews. Did I ever hear him make remarks that could be considered controversial while I sat in the church? Yes.
We bombed Hiroshima, we bombed Nagasaki, and we nuked far more than the thousands in New York and the Pentagon, and we never batted an eye.
No one in the church ever said to you, man, last week you missed this sermon, Reverend Wright said this, or, I mean, I think I read in your books that you used to listen to tapes of Reverend Wright when you were at Harvard Law School.
I did.
So you had no idea.
I did not. Did I ever hear him make remarks that could be considered controversial while I sat in the church? Yes.
What's going on in white America, U.S. of KKKA?
Did I ever hear him make remarks that could be considered controversial while I sat in the church? Yes.
The racism which still supports both here and in Israel. I said that dirty word again. Every time you say Israel, Negroes get awfully quiet on you because they scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You don't see the connection between 91101 and the Israeli-Palestinian? Something wrong and you want to buy my glasses?
Did I ever hear him make remarks that could be considered controversial while I sat in the church? Yes.
We have supported state terrorism against the Palestinians and black South Africans, and now we are indignant because the stuff we have done overseas is now brought right back into our own front yards. America's chickens are coming home to roost.
Did you not know, though, that, I mean, you know, a couple days after 9/11, he said, you know, this was America's chickens coming home to roost, a result of what he called American terrorism around the world? I mean, you may not have been there, but you must have heard that he had said these things.
You know, I confess that I did not hear about this until I started running for president. Did I ever hear him make remarks that could be considered controversial while I sat in the church? Yes.
Barack knows what it means to be a black man living in a country and a culture that is controlled by rich white people. Hillary can never know that. Hillary ain't never been called a nigger.
Had I heard those in the church, I would have told Reverend Wright that that I profoundly disagreed with them. They didn't reflect my values and they didn't reflect my ideals. Did I ever hear him make remarks that could be considered controversial while I sat in the church? Yes.
I won't wear that pin on my chest.
The first time in my adult lifetime, I'm really proud of my country.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
I can no more disown him than I can disown my white grandmother. A woman who helped raise me, a woman who sacrificed again and again for me, a woman who loves me as much as she loves anything in this world, but a woman who once confessed her fear of black men who passed her by on the street, and who on more than one occasion has uttered racial or ethnic stereotypes that made me cringe.
But she is a typical white person who, if she sees somebody on the street that she doesn't know, you know, there's a reaction that's been bred into our experiences that don't go away, and that sometimes come out in the wrong way.
Using a phrase like the typical white person is the kind of stereotyping that might offend African Americans if a white candidate were to refer to the typical black person.
You can walk out of a church. I mean, you can go up to a pastor and say, this is wrong.
And as I said, Anderson, if I had heard any of these statements, I probably would have walked out, and I probably would have told Reverend Wright that they were wrong. Did I ever hear him make remarks that could be considered controversial while I sat in the church? Yes.
When governments lie, the government lied about inventing the HIV virus as a means of genocide against people of color. Governments lie. What we are doing is the same thing Al-Qaeda is doing under a different color flag.
Did you know that he had made these statements before the videotape appeared?
You know, frankly, I didn't. I wasn't in church during the time that these statements were made. Now, did I ever hear him make remarks that could be considered controversial while I sat in the church? Yes.